It keeps happening. Why is she there? Isn't this the forge? No. Well, that was fun. But why is she here?
Fire's pretty. The world needs more of it.
Anyway. So, I think it's probably about time I get a specialization. I am level 19 now. So, I think that's even higher than I was on Jules before I got one. But the reason why I'm getting one so late is because I wanted to be Rift Mage pretty much since the start of this playthrough. And it took me ages to find the Venatori tomes, and I've found the last one during the Winter Palace. And then at the last moment I've decided to actually become Necromancer. And the reason that for that is because well, I wanted to be Rift Mage for the Stone Fist mostly, and maybe the focus-based ability, but nothing else. But I don't really have room to spare on my action bar. Like on Jules, I had some spells that I could just dump, but I'm finding that on hard and, well, on nightmare difficulty that I've been playing since whatever level 15. Wait, no. What level was I during the second dragon? 13? Well, whatever. When I changed the difficulty to nightmare just before the second dragon fight, um, the creatures that are otherwise resistant to a certain spell of magic on normal mode just take decreased damage. So for instance, if I'm attacking a fire dragon with a fire spell, instead of 4000 it will do 300. But on nightmare mode they don't take that, they just literally take 1 damage. That's why you'll sometimes see me fighting like mages and just doing 1 damage, or fighting a rage demon and doing 1 damage. So for those reasons I keep things like Winter's Grasp on my bar, which I would normally not use because that spell isn't just powerful enough for the amount of mana it costs in my opinion. But for those reasons I do keep it on my bar on this mage, and because of that I don't really have any room for Stonefist or anything else. So that is pretty much the reason why I've been thinking of going Necro for the passives, like the ones where if you die you get like a copy to fight for you for 10 seconds, which I figured would be decent for like dragon fights because I'm mostly the one that dies during dragon fights, and also for things like increased damage and mana regen, and I think it gives health as well, like when you kill somebody. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna dedicate myself to the Necro spec.
The
Even
recipe
though
is complete.
for
Your
20
ceremony
episodes I was
complete.
convinced I was gonna be
You
Rift
know our way.
Mage, but
Now you must
that's
choose
life.
to accept this role. To
Yes,
shepherd and to condemn.
I'll be a Necromancer.
I'm ready to commit to this, to train in necromancy.
Then you honor me as well. You have begun a path that goes well beyond where others must stop. You will find, Inquisitor, that life is not so final as some might think. Welcome to our way.
Yay, let's go hump some courses. Oh yeah, and the Knight Enchanter spec wasn't even on my radar, to be fair. I just don't enjoy being in melee range. I'm thinking if you could change the spec for other mages, I would probably become Knight Enchanter and make Vivian whatever else, but since she's tied to be Knight Enchanter, I don't want 2 melee mages, so she's the one that sits in melee range, and I'm Necromancer now.
You have begun practicing new magical forms. Interesting. You seem to be drawing energy across the veil. Wisps too simple to be considered spirits. I believe Dorian uses similar magic, as do the Mortalitasi of Navarra.
That they
Why
do,
did you choose such an esoteric area of study?
because I want to kill you and raise you as undead to serve me forever. Not really. I want to say this, but I feel like he'll disapprove and he'll say, how dare you use wisps. Whatever.
I saw the chance
YOLO.
to gain more power.
He
There seemed no reason
disapproved.
not to take it.
There are always reasons. Not every tool is an asset. Some are as much complication as benefit. Regardless, I hope these studies serve you well. Did you need anything else?
Yeah, so it's because you don't use anything
We'll
as
talk later.
tools, right? Like, me. Right? Right? Do you have anything to say to that? No?
I understand you've been looking into the spells of the Mortalitasi.
That's right.
Only a certain kind of person is drawn to necromancy. My uncle found it fascinating.
What do you mean by a certain kind of person?
A morbid kind. Drawn to flesh and corpses and... well...
Yes, my
growing up in
favorite
Navarra,
stuff.
it seemed like an obsession to everyone around me. My uncle always had a corpse in the mat, anointing it with perfumes and reading to it as if it were a child.
Sounds
Whatever
fun.
your interest, I hope you don't go as far as he. The smell of embalming fluid is unpleasant.
No, I'd love to. I'm gonna have some corpses around my room. Just to keep me company.
You're different. You pull at pieces. They push into place. Demons, but different, but wrong.
Are you
I
disapprove?
don't like it.
Is the magic I use doing harm to spirits?
No, not spirits. Not demons. Pieces of them. Bits that could become. A fraction of a fragment of a figment. Not enough to be, but the bits that could be, you break.
Who cares?
Cole, I didn't realize that using this type of magic was like hurting your... relatives.
Just don't bind spirits. They are more. You shouldn't hurt them. Did you want me for something else?
I'll talk to you later.
If you like.
I've heard you're training in the art of necromancy, Inquisitor. Is that wise, considering the Mortalitasi's reputation?
I know my way around magic.
It's not your skills I'm worried about. Outside Nevada, most people think the Mortalitasi perform death rituals and sacrifices, and Maker knows what else.
Sounds like fun. When do I start?
Nervous about the Canary Maiden. I
Why
would
is
try
everyone
to
so
keep
worried
the
about me
necromancy
being a
quiet.
necromancer all of a sudden? I don't remember anybody having an opinion on Rift Mage.
I hear you've been expanding your horizons, learning the craft of the Navaran death mage.
Why does everyone take such
More
interest in
I'm
my
not wrapping my
specialization
tongue around
this
that.
time?
The point is, this fascination with death, the manipulation of corpses, it's not right.
I didn't ask for your opinion, did I?
I have a responsibility to learn everything I can if I think it will help.
I should trust you know what you're doing. You've never given me any reason to doubt you. Just forget I said anything. I'll get used to this death thing, eventually.
Yes, because you're not used to death, right? Because you never killed anyone in your lifetime.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a
I'm
bit.
surrounded by a bunch of hypocrites.
Getting serious about mage stuff, magic, things. How about not so much? Just asking for not so much magic. Great, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just gonna use my fists instead.
Do you have any worries about how my magic is developing?
Really? You have to ask what's so bad about the magic stuff. Necro, whatever. Necro doesn't mean Sarah happy.
Ow.
Necromancer. The manipulation of spirits.
Not helping. I don't understand that stuff. It's scary to anyone smart enough to think for a second. I don't want you to be scary.
Well, I can't shoot a bow, but I wouldn't call you scary though, would I?
What has you so scared?
You really don't know? Most people are scared. I mean, there's lots of mages here, but most never see one. Never. You're weird, and I know you, so you're not scary. But lots of people don't know you. I don't want you to be just a scary mage.
I want to be a scary mage. I'll raise an army of skulls just flying around me. I'll just have a skull crown and an armor full of made of bones. Oh, I'd never hit you, Sarah.
Sarah, I couldn't be like that. Not and disappoint you.
Give me the shivers, you know? Yeah, you know. Alright, it's all fine again.
Oh.
Just so we're clear though, that corpse stuff is freaking weird.
It's fine.
I'll be back if I need you.
You will, yeah.
I mean, you have some skulls here and bones. How is this different? Well, okay, it's a little bit different, because I guess you won't be raising dead things. But still, that could make you a nice little skeleton minion, Sarah. They can throw bees with, maybe. Oh, you know what I realized? In cutscenes, you can see a door to her little room, but there's no door. Where did the door come from, Sarah? Are you a mage? Where is it? Where are you hiding it? So I thought I'd do a little walkthrough for my lovely viewers, all 2.5 of you, regarding my mage play. When I started this game, I originally thought that I would probably have to have like a designated role for each mage. So Vivian would have to be a tank because she's a knight enchanter, and Solus would be the main crown controller, and I was planning to make Dorian like half crowd control, half damage dealer, while I focus mostly on just damage dealing. But I mean, having played this for 19 levels now, everyone's pretty much just doing damage, and that's what they're focused on, because there is no use or no need for like I'm not finding a need for crown control really. I already get enough crown control just from the spells that I use naturally, like Chain Lightning staggers enemies a little bit, and Fire Mine flings them up in the air if it triggers, and then I use Flash Fire for tougher creatures like Bright Demons, in case I need to panic them for a couple of seconds to get away, and then I have Fate Step to get away as well. So I personally did not see any point in like dedicating one mage or half a mage to crowd control, so everyone's pretty much focused on doing their own thing. I'll start off with looking at everyone's builds. So as I've mentioned before, I am Necro, and these are the things that I have in here. So I have Horror, which as you can see I don't even have on my bars, because the only reason I got it is to get to the good stuff, which is the passives. And I have the thing that increases damage versus panicked enemies. Then when an enemy dies, I gain some mana back and some health. And the thing that increases my damage down by 20% for 10 seconds after an enemy dies. And the last thing I'm gonna get here, I think, is this one. This is the thing that raises a copy of me after I die for 10 seconds. I haven't got it yet because, well, I don't have enough skills for it, but this is the thing that I'm gonna get next, and I think this will probably be it for Necromancer 3. I do not intend on getting Walking Bomb or Spirit Mark because, well, for starters they cost quite a bit of mana, and I don't think they're that good to replace the stuff that I have on here already. And I haven't decided if I want to get Haste, because I think I prefer Mark of the Rift, because well, most of the times when I use a focused beast ability it is dragon fights, And Mark of the Rift, I noticed it staggers dragons already, which is kind of similar to what Haze does, because Haze kind of slows them down. But Mark of the Rift also deals spirit damage. So in my eyes, it's probably a bit better. So that's why I prefer it, especially for like electric dragons, because they take increased spirit damage, and that's what Mark of the Rift does. Moving on, we have Spirit Tree, which I don't have anything in, and I am the only mage in the group who doesn't have a barrier. The reason for that is because, well, like I said, I don't really have a lot of room on my bars, because the action bar space is like gold dust in Dragon Age, since you only have 8. And I do find myself using all these spells quite frequently, well, minus the focus-based ability, because you need to charge it. Plus I do have 3 other mages who have barrier. I have been thinking of maybe getting it for dragon fights, just to kind of have that extra security, because during dragon fights I can like dump some of the spells out because I don't use everything for dragons, but otherwise I would not have it on my action bar. But like I said, I haven't really decided, it's not a priority, so maybe when I'm at a stage where I have enough skills but nothing really to spend them on, I might get a barrier, but for now I'm not going to. Then in the Storm Tree, aka the Lightning Tree, I have Chain Lightning, which is upgraded, and then Energy Barrage, which is upgraded as well, and Conductive Current, which increases my damage done for every mana missing. And every single mage in the group has the same build here, so we all have these 3 things, but I think Vivian doesn't have Energy Barrage improved. But it's not really a big deal because, well, the upgrade, what it does is it decreases the magic resistance of the element of your staff. And because most of the time Vivian's staff will be the same element as at least somebody's in the group, and we already decrease that element's resistance by 2 through doing energy barrage ourselves, there's not really a point. So she doesn't have that one, but everyone else has the same stuff I have in here. Then in the Fire Tree, I'm very heavily into it, as you can see. The only stuff I don't have is Wall of Fire, and I think my Flash Fire isn't upgraded, but the upgrade only increases panic duration, so it's not really that great, because most of the time when I use Flash Fire, it's literally just to kind of stagger the enemy while I move away a couple steps. So they don't stand around panicked for very long, because I just keep on damaging them so it breaks the panic. But otherwise I have everything else here, so I have Immolate, Improved, Flashpoint, Pyromancer, Clean Burn, Fire Mines Improved, and I also have Chaotic Focus, which, to be fair, I wish I didn't get. It's the thing that consumes part of your barrier to empower certain spells. So it's mostly just fire spells, so things like Immolate, Flashfire, and Fire Mine. And the reason I said I kind of wish I didn't get it is because it's a bit of a nuisance during dragon fights, because obviously barriers are quite important during dragon fights, and when I deal fire damage, it just consumes most of my barriers, so I pretty much nuke my own barrier very fast, and then everyone's barrier is on cooldown, and I'm kind of unprotected and take damage from things that I shouldn't be taking damage from. So if you're thinking of running a 4-mage group, I suggest skipping Chaotic Focus, but I don't find it deadly enough to go out and respect myself, so have it for now, but yeah, I would not advise getting it. Then in the Ice Tree, I have Winter's Grasp, and I think, yeah, every mage in the group has Winter's Grasp, and the only reason I got it is literally creatures who are immune to fire damage. So things like Rage Demons and Ice Dragons, and certain mages as well. So like when I can't do most of my spells because a creature is immune, I will be spamming Winter's Grasp. But other than that, I don't use it because it costs way too much mana for the amount of damage it does. Then everyone has Mana Surge, which is quite a useful passive to have. It's the thing that freezes nearby enemies when a person's barrier is destroyed. So for instance, if there are creatures hitting on me and they destroy my barrier, they will get frozen instantly. I don't know if it like triggers with Chaotic Focus, the thing that like consumes the barrier. I haven't really noticed. Can't say I've really sat and paid attention to it, but yeah, it is probably one of the more useful things, like if you're running a multiple mage playthrough, and you're not focused on crowd control otherwise, like me. So yeah, everyone has Mana Surge, and then everyone has Winter Stillness except Vivian. And this is the thing that increases mana regeneration when you're standing still. And the reason for Vivian not having it is because obviously she moves quite a bit because she's a melee mage. So it would be a waste if she had it. Then we have Fate Step, which everyone also has except Vivian, since she's a melee mage. She's normally in melee range of the enemies anyway, so she doesn't really need to move away from anything. But everyone else has it, and I'm the only one who has it improved. I don't know if this upgrade is that useful. I mean, it doesn't do that much damage, but I figured I'd get it. I don't know, because I'm normally the one that uses Fate Step in normal combat, whereas everyone else just uses it during dragons. So yeah, I'm not crazy about the upgrade, but like I said, I can't be bothered to go and respect myself, so it's staying. Next we have Dorian, and Dorian is Necro as well, and his tree looks very similar to mine, so he also has Horror, and all the passives except this one, because just like me, he currently doesn't have enough skills to get this one, but this is the thing that I'm gonna get next for him as well, so the thing that creates a copy when he dies. And he has haste, because obviously he doesn't have Mark of the Earth like me. And just like Sala, I don't intend on getting Spirit Mark or Walking Bomb, and I don't think I'm gonna upgrade Horror either, but he does have it on his action bar there. Then he is one of the mages with Barrier, and he also has the thing that decreases his threat. He didn't have it for most of my playthrough. I think I only gave it to him about 2 levels ago, because I started noticing that dragons kept like bashing him with breaths and things quite a bit, and he kept dying more than he used to, so that's why I decided to give him threat reduction. And then all the mages who have Barrier have Guardian Spirit, which is also quite a useful thing. It's the one that springs up a barrier on you automatically when you're just about to die, basically. So it's like a oh crap barrier sort of thing. Then in the lightning tree, just like Sala, he has Chain Lightning, Energy Barrage, and the thing that increases damage when mana's missing. In fire tree he has Immolate and Flashpoint, and that's it. And in the ice tree he has the same as Sala as well. So Winter's Grasp for dragon slash rage demons and whatever else is immune to fire. Then Mana Surge, the thing that increases mana regen when he's standing still, and Fate Step for dragons as well. So as you can see, minus spirit stuff, he's quite similar to Sala. Well, and he's less invested in fire and me as well. Then we have Vivian, and Vivian's a Night Enchanter, and she has pretty much everything in her tree minus this thing, Disruption Field, which, I don't know, I've never used it. It reads like it wouldn't be that great, plus it costs a lot of mana, 65. So I'm not intending to get it, or the upgrade. So I'm pretty much done in her Night Enchanter tree here. But she does have all the upgrades, so like the Fate Cloak upgrade, which I think I gave her just as she dinged level 18, which was quite recently. And she has the Spirit Blade upgrade as well, and I do have to say that she's pretty much almost unkillable now. Well, not unkillable, but I basically barely have to micromanage her anymore after I got certain passives that like make her barrier impenetrable, basically. Like the passive where she regenerates barrier when damage is dealt to her, and also the one that decreases decay rate. So yeah, when you use a Night Enchanter, when you get down here, they become complete beasts. So yeah, because of that, I barely ever control her anymore. Like during dragon fights, I just let her get on with whatever she's doing. Then moving on to the spirit tree, so she has barrier as well, and guardian spirit. She doesn't have reduced threat because I do obviously kind of want her to have some threat. I know that as the main damage dealer, I will be having most of the threat myself, but it is nice to kind of confuse creatures sometimes so they don't know who to go to. So like they kind of ping between me and Vivian a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with the spirit tree on her here. Then in the lightning tree, as I said, everyone has chain lightning, energy barrage, hers isn't upgraded though, and conductive current. Then in the fire tree, she has immolate, flashpoint, and clean burn, which is a thing that kind of helps with cooldowns a little bit. And in the frost tree, she has winter's grasp and mana surge because, as I mentioned, winter stillness and fade step would be a waste to have on her since she moves a lot and sits in melee range anyway. And lastly, we have Solus, who is a rift mage, and he has stone fist, and I think a couple of passives here. This one increases duration of status effects, which I'm assuming are like dots. I don't really know. I got it for Firestorm, which I don't have at the moment, which I'm gonna get next, because he's the only one without a focus-based ability at the moment. And then another passive he has is the thing that increases his damage versus weakened targets by 15%, because he weakens them through Stone Fist. And I think that's it. I'm not planning on getting anything else, I don't think, because most of these are like, well, that thing's complete waste. When I remember I was really excited to get it on Jules, but it's just a bit crap. And there's stuff that just isn't worth the spells in my opinion, and the skills. Then in the spirit tree he does have quite a few things, so he has barrier and guardian spirit and decreased threat, as well as dispel, so he's the only one with the dispel. And he also has rejuvenating barrier, which is the thing that increases mana regeneration. To be fair, I don't know if it's that useful because I do have a lot of things that already increase mana regen, so I don't even know if it all stacks together or not, but I can't be bothered to go and read up on it, so he has it. I don't know if it does anything or not, but oh well. Then in the storm tree he has chain lightning and energy barrage and conductive current as everyone else. He doesn't have anything in inferno. And in the cold tree he has winter's grasp and mana surge, winter stillness, and fade step, just like me and Dorian. And he does seem to have upgraded winter's grasp, which is a surprise to me because I don't remember doing that, so I don't know if he already comes with it or maybe I did it by mistake. I don't really know. It'll remain a mystery. But yeah, so that's the build. So as you can see, nobody's focused on a certain role. Everyone's just kind of doing damage. And then I'll move on to our gear. Obviously, because I'm the main character, I intended to give all the best stuff to myself, but because a lot of the stuff kind of excludes Kunari race, the person with the best equipment in my party is actually Vivian. As you can see, she's got like all epics everywhere. So she has like the nice chest and the nice head. And I think I also gave her the health necklace because since she sits in melee range a lot, she does take like additional damage from just enemies doing melee attacks and stuff. So that's why I kind of wanted to bump her health quite a bit. And She is actually now the one with the highest health bar. It used to be me a couple levels back, but because I keep looting stuff that increases health that I can't use because I'm Kunari, I am now second in terms of highest health bar, and actually it seems like Solus is catching up to me now. The one with the worst one is Dorian. I don't really know why, but when I start looting extra stuff with like more health, I'm gonna start giving it to him to kind of balance out. So yes, Vivian has the best gear out of all of us. And the stuff she uses is Grunt Enchanter stuff with cold damage. I do give myself the best one, which I think at the moment is actually worse than Vivian's because I gave her the spirit rune, so you like bumped the damage on it. But I'm not gonna use this one on myself because it's cold damage and I want fire damage for me. So she has this one. So normally, yes, I get the best one, Vivian gets the second best one, Dorian gets the third best one, and Solus gets the worst one, since he probably does the least damage anyway. But yeah, and he's got a lot of like spells and spirits, so it'd be a bit of a waste. I prefer to bump the damage of the ones that are already meant to be doing more damage anyway. So yeah, and what stuff are you? So yeah, Dorian has Bloodwake at the moment, which seems to be missing a grip and a blade. But I'm probably gonna... whatever next good stuff I loot, I will probably give it to him. I think there's like an electricity one from one of the dragons in Empress de Leon, which I'll probably give to him. And Solus is using Tempest, which is also cold, so I currently have 2 cold and 2 flame staves in use. And I do keep a couple extra ones in my inventory for dragon fights, so I keep 2 extra fire staves as well as 2 extra cold staves. So when I'm fighting a nice dragon, I give everyone a fire staff, and when I'm fighting a fire dragon, I give everyone a cold staff. And when I'm fighting an electricity dragon, everyone just uses whatever they use normally because they take increased spirit damage, and there's no such thing as a spirit staff in this game. So yeah, and I know I'll get that ring that I used to use on Jules a lot, the thing that gives me stealth and increased flanking damage and like an instant crit from attacking out of stealth, which I'm gonna use on myself. And I think I'm also gonna get a neck from Emerald Graves, which I think it's a neck. It might be a ring. I can't remember, but it has like a thing on chance on hit where it taunts all enemies nearby, which I'm gonna give to Vivian just for a laugh, because I keep joking that she's my tank, so I'm gonna get her a tank neck, because as far as I remember that neck has... it's restricted to mages and rogues, so that should be fun. That should take some heat from me, because normally mobs just go straight for me. So yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about.